Welcome back to another episode of 100 Southeast Asian Films in 100 Days. And this week we'll be going through these 5 films. The first one is The Day Before the End by Lav Diaz. This one is a short film about the end of the world set in the Philippines in the year 2050. Realistically surreal is what I'd say to describe what the film is trying to say. It's one of those art house films where a message is told through shots and frames. Movement of the camera felt like roaming around the city and just appreciating the chaos slowly unfolding. It's 16 minutes of whatever you can take out from this. For me, it was the feeling of the end. Life goes on as a few ring the bells of the end. It rains, flooding more of the surface as some could only pray. I like the approach of this and how it tells what it wants to say. It's very clear and concise. And that's all I'll say about this short film. And the second one this week is The Woman Who Left, also by Lav Diaz. The previous film is a good introduction to Lav Diaz's film because this one holds much more in terms of plot and visuals. It's harsh to its characters. The division of class doesn't spare anyone who doesn't have the will to fight back. The choices made by the characters give you the feeling of distrust, draining you out of compassion and disregard for humanity. However, it still made room for love and at least empathy for the woman who left. That an ounce of sweat dropped to help the people below her can make a big difference in this brutal reality. And that is how much I have gotten out from this film. It is harsh as it is beautiful, it is tender as it is rigid, and it is loud as it is silent. And this film is definitely a must-watch in his filmography. And the third one this week, Evolution of a Filipino Family, again by Lav Diaz. This film is one of the longest film in the world and it took me days to finish it. However, I did not consume any other movies in between. This film is a long film that has much going on despite its runtime. It's also a very genuine piece of art that not only tells a fictional story from a real event, but also invites you to live and become the character. To be in their shoes and to live in their world and society. I'm quoting this from another review that I saw on Letterboxd, which said, "You're not only learning about the story and its characters, but the film actively educates you about the actual events that occur in this film, in which was during the dictatorship of Ferdinand Marcos." This film gives you so much to think about, and it's a bottomless pit of stories and knowledge. And the fourth film this week, Service by Brillante Ma Mendoza. Service is a film that has a statement instead of a plot. Although some characters do develop towards the end, what it ultimately does is tell you a situation of these people and shows you their lives. To me, what I feel this film tells me is that this family, who runs a local cinema, has had a rough time keeping up with its situation, and the result of that is fatigue, distrust, laziness, and recklessness within the family. I really like the way they lay out exposition. It has a very distinct show don't tell traits in the film. Some shots are loud, some shots are subtle, but both don't need words to describe it. Again, nothing much happens in the film except it has a underlying message. And for the fifth film this week, The Blossoming of Maximo Oliveros by Aurelio Solito. The characters are the main drivers of this film. Everyone has a soul, a purpose, and is as human as they can be. Mainly the protagonists who I had so much sympathy for. They're all just really well written characters. The music also played a huge role in guiding emotions. It brings out tenderness and it makes you forget that the characters were even living in the slums. At the start, it's a very wholesome feeling, seeing the characters live their lives out, and you also grow fond of the protagonist. And then it progresses as you start seeing both sides of everyone's lives as they start to make choices. From those points on, you start to see the realities and the risks these characters have to manage. Despite the roughness, the characters find a way to live their lives and grow. And that's these 5 films for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you made it this far, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.